guy. We're actually...
Radio calls. They're coming at us, heavily armed.
Where are the kids?
In the car.
Men.
Got it. Can't get rid of these guys.
Okay, we just pushed the last two.
Maintain formation.
Copy.
Contact one. Stay right.
Shit.
They are here. Soldiers.
We're hit. Keep smelling them, yeah, feels that way.
Approaching Xville, straight ahead.
It's okay, I got you. Yep.
60 seconds out. Right, go right.
Get it. Yeah?
Hold on.
My team's waiting for us at the end of the... Get to the... That's empty! Hey!
I'm going to enjoy killing you. Good.
You trust me? On my way!
Let's go. Let's go.
Nick, get us up!
You have to get off your asses. It's getting busy with me. You have to be terrified.
Back off!
Forget Bravo, too hot. Go left.
Shit,
The door! Tyler!
Settle!
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the adrenaline-fueled sequel that asks, can one man take that much punishment? We're talking about Extraction 2, where Chris Hemsworth's Tyler Rake proves that a fall from a bridge, a few dozen bullet holes, and a drowning certainly won't keep a good mercenary down for long. We pick up exactly where we left off, with Rake looking less like an unstoppable force and more like a very expensive rag doll being pulled from the water. Spoiler alert, he lives because, well, it's a sequel. If you had a good time with this, a like and a subscribe is a free way to help me keep making more. So our man Rake is in rough shape, like maybe don't try that at home rough. He's whisked away to a swanky hospital, all beeps and sterile white, where the doctors give him the kind of "you're basically a goner" speech that usually precedes a character being written out of a show. But Nick and Yaz, his ever-loyal team, aren't having it. The rhythmic thump-thump of his heart monitor is a constant, grim reminder of how close he is to the edge. The surgeons are practically working miracles, patching up more holes than a golf course after a hailstorm, but it's a long shot. He slips into a coma, the silence of his room punctuated only by the soft hiss of the ventilator. Fast forward 9 months, because no one wants to watch a full 9-month recovery montage, right? Rake wakes up, probably wondering if he'd slept through a decade. He's looking a bit like a sad houseplant that needs watering, but he's alive. Nick brings him to a picturesque but very isolated cabin in Austria. And here begins the most brutal personal training session in cinematic history. The crunch of his bones, the strained grunts of effort as he tries to lift a single dumbbell, the splash of sweat hitting the floor. It's all there. He's pushing himself through the kind of physical therapy that would make a Spartan wince, battling pain with every flex of his atrophied muscles. He builds a rhythm, a daily grind of punching bags, chopping wood, and getting punched back by life itself, metaphorically speaking, of course. Just when Rake settles into his reclusive lumberjack phase, A helicopter, probably playing a very loud Ride of the Valkyries in his head, thunders into view and lands near his cabin. Out steps Alcott, a sharp-suited mystery man who looks like he smells faintly of expensive cigars and high-stakes missions. He's not there for a wellness check, though. He drops a bombshell. Rake's ex-wife, Mia, has requested his help. The air in the cabin suddenly feels heavier, thick with unspoken history and the whisper of a past Rake thought he'd buried. Alcott's proposition is simple, yet utterly insane for a man who just learned to tie his own shoes again. Rescue Mia's sister, Ketavan, and her 2 children, who are imprisoned in Georgia. It's a full-tilt, maximum security prison break. Just another Tuesday, I guess. Despite Rake's initial reluctance, because, being dead is generally less work, the call of duty, or maybe just the call of a good old-fashioned brawl, wins him over. He, Nick, and Yaz suit up, gear up, and head to Georgia, where they find a prison that makes Alcatraz look like a kindergarten timeout corner. The heavy clang of the prison gates closing behind them is enough to send a shiver down anyone's spine. This isn't just any prison. It's a literal fortress run by David Radiani, Ketavan's gangster husband, who's basically the undisputed king of this concrete jungle. The air inside is thick with the dull hum of generators and the distant shouts of guards, setting a grim stage for what's about to unfold. Rake, with the subtlety of a freight train, gets to work. He's not exactly looking for a quiet chat over tea. His plan involves a bit of constructive chaos. The scream of an alarm, the shouts of agitated prisoners, and the thud of guards hitting the ground start the party. He finds Ketavan and her children in a section of the prison yard, surrounded by hardened criminals. The kids, Sandro and Nina, are terrified, clinging to their mother. Ketavan, as you might expect, isn't exactly thrilled to see Rake, probably because the last time she saw him, he was marrying her sister. The shatter of a distant window and the growing roar of the riot outside her cell is all the incentive she needs to reluctantly follow. And here we go, folks, the main event. The prison riot is now in full swing, turning the yard into a gladiatorial arena. Rake, wielding a riot shield like it's a fashion accessory, becomes a human bulldozer. The crack of his shield against an inmate's head, the thump of bodies collapsing, the tear of fabric as he rips through the chaos. It's a symphony of destruction. Ketavan, ever the skeptic, is constantly questioning his methods. But Rake's focus is laser sharp. Protect the kids. The sheer volume of the riot, a cacophony of screams, gunshots, and explosions, makes conversation a bit difficult, which is probably for the best. He's taking on everyone, seemingly powered by pure stubbornness and a healthy dose of movie magic. It's like a particularly violent game of red light, green light, but everyone's perpetually red. The fight spills into the claustrophobic cell blocks, where every punch feels amplified by the echoing stone walls. The snapping sound of bones, the gasp of air being knocked out, and the metallic clang of dropped weapons create a chilling soundscape. Rake is a whirlwind of elbows and knees, adapting to the confined space with incredible precision. He uses anything and everything as a weapon, a stray pipe, a chair, even an inmate's face. The sharp report of a suppressed pistol shot occasionally cuts through the din, a grim punctuation mark on the violence. It's a dance of death in a hallway, where every step is a gamble and every move could be your last. The kids, thankfully, are mostly shielded, but the fear in their eyes is palpable amidst the surrounding carnage. David's men are relentless, swarming like angry bees, but Rake just keeps swatting. Next up, the open courtyard, probably not designed with escape from in mind. It's a wide-open shooting gallery, with bullets whizzing past their heads like angry hornets. Nick and Yaz provide cover fire, the staccato bursts of their automatic weapons creating a desperate rhythm. Rake pushes the group forward, using an abandoned prison vehicle as a mobile shield, the dull thud of bullets hitting the metal reinforcing the danger. The screech of tires, the boom of a grenade, and the crackle of distant radio chatter paint a vivid picture of the sheer chaos. Ketevan, to her credit, is surprisingly resilient, pushing her kids to keep moving, her own fear momentarily overshadowed by the primal urge to protect. It's a frantic dash for survival, where every inch gained feels like a monumental victory. Just when you think things can't get any worse, a helicopter arrives, because apparently David Radiani has unlimited funds for his private air force. The whirring blades cut through the air, creating a terrifying draft, and then the rat-a-tat-tat of its mounted machine gun begins. Rake, ever the multitasker, has to deal with both ground forces and air superiority. He manages to board the helicopter because why just shoot at it when you can personally deliver a cease and desist order? The grunts of effort as he clings to the side, the smash of his fist against the cockpit window, and the explosive pop as he takes out the pilot are all captured in stunning detail. It's a dizzying, terrifying sequence, reminding us that Rake's job description clearly includes extreme aerial acrobatics with deadly intent. Just another day at the office. Honestly, from the frying pan into the locomotive. After a truly bonkers prison escape, the team's next mode of transport is a good old-fashioned moving train. Because apparently, slow and steady doesn't win the race when you're being hunted by an entire criminal empire. The screech of tires on the dirt road as their getaway vehicle races alongside the train, the thud of bodies as they leap from one speeding platform to another. It's all just another Tuesday for Rake. The whistle of the train, usually a sign of adventure, here signals more impending doom. David's men, who are apparently everywhere, show up again, engaging in a frantic gun battle and fistfight atop the train cars. It's a literal runaway train of violence, with Rake trying to steer everyone to safety, one punch at a time. Amidst the blur of passing scenery and the clatter of the train on the tracks, Rake finally comes face to face with David Radiani himself. David, looking less like a charismatic villain and more like a very angry badger, is clearly out for blood. The thwack of punches, the grunt of effort, and the slight sway of the train car as they grapple make this a truly unique boxing ring. Ketevan watches, horrified, as her husband fights her sister's ex-husband. It's like a particularly violent family reunion. Rake, fueled by sheer force of will, eventually gains the upper hand. The gurgle as David succumbs, the silence that follows, even over the roar of the train, is chilling. David's death sets off a chain reaction, promising even more trouble from his vengeful brother, Zurab. Because in action movies, one villain always has a backup villain. After the locomotive mayhem, the team arrives in Vienna, landing in a lavish, modern safe house that probably costs more per night than I make in a year. The soft hum of the city below is a stark contrast to the deafening roar of the prison. For a brief moment, there's a flicker of normal life. The kids get to play, and for the first time in ages, they're not surrounded by armed thugs. But Ketevan, still simmering with resentment and distrust, lashes out at Rake. Her sharp words cut through the fragile peace, blaming him for David's death and the upheaval of her life, completely ignoring the fact that her husband was a murderous crime lord. Rake, ever the stoic, takes it all in, the creak of the wooden floorboards under his heavy boots being the only sound he allows himself to make. Meanwhile, back in Georgia, David's funeral is underway, complete with dramatic mourning and, more importantly, a vengeful brother. Zurab Radiani, who looks like he's been lifting cars for fun, delivers a chilling eulogy that's less about remembrance and more about retribution. The deep rumble of his voice as he swears vengeance sends shivers down the spine. He's not just angry. He's meticulously planning Rake's demise. The solemn silence of the funeral procession quickly gives way to the whispers of assassins being dispatched, turning a somber occasion into a strategic war room. Zurab is a man of his word, and his word is, "I will find you, and I will end you." This dude means business, and he's got resources, which is always a problem for our hero. And just like that, the brief calm in Vienna is utterly shattered. Zurab's goons, showing up like uninvited guests at a very exclusive party, burst into the safe house with the subtlety of a bull in a china shop. The crash of splintering wood, the smash of glass, and the immediate barrage of gunfire turned the luxurious apartment into a war zone. Rake, Nick, and Yaz are instantly on the defensive, their training kicking in with the lightning-fast movements of seasoned professionals. The sharp cracks of pistol shots echo through the rooms, mingling with the shouts of commands and the pained grunts of combatants. It's a frenetic, desperate fight for survival in a space that was supposed to be safe. Ketevan and the kids are caught in the middle, their terrified screams adding to the terrifying symphony of battle. In the midst of the chaos, Yaz, always the calm and collected one, makes a heartbreaking choice. He holds the line, drawing fire, creating a precious window for Ketevan and the kids to escape. The rapid-fire bursts of his weapon, followed by the desperate clicks as he runs out of ammo, paint a picture of grim determination. He's taking hit after hit, his body absorbing the shocking impact of bullets. The thud as he finally falls, the silence that momentarily follows, is a punch to the gut. It's a gut-wrenching moment, a testament to his loyalty and bravery. Rake, witnessing this tragic sacrifice, lets out a guttural roar of pain and rage, his grief instantly morphing into a terrifying, singular focus. Revenge. You just knew that Zurab was going to regret this. Big time. With Yaz's sacrifice burning in his mind, Rake goes full angry dad on a mission. He pushes Ketevan and Sandro to safety, then launches himself across Vienna's rooftops with a series of utterly insane leaps. The scramble of his boots on the tiles, the whoosh of air as he clears impossible gaps, the smash of glass as he crashes through a skylight. It's a blur of raw, unadulterated fury. The chase spills into the streets, a symphony of screeching tires, blaring horns, and crumpling metal. Rake, now commandeering a vehicle like it's a sentient weapon, weaves through traffic, the impact of every collision fueling his resolve. He's a human battering ram, and Zurab's men are just unfortunately placed bowling pins. Nina, the younger child, is still missing, adding an even greater urgency to his relentless pursuit. Rake, with the single-minded focus of a heat-seeking missile, tracks Nina and Zurab's goons to a gargantuan glass and steel skyscraper. This place looks like it was designed by someone who really loves dramatic action sequences. The heavy click of his rifle being readied, the steady thud of his boots on the polished lobby floor, all signal the calm before the storm. He enters with the grace of a panther but the destructive intent of a wrecking ball. The hiss of automatic doors closing behind him marks the point of no return. He's stepping into the belly of the beast, fully aware that this won't be a quiet rescue operation. This is Rake's personal war, and this skyscraper is about to become his battleground. He's probably thinking, oh, great, more glass to jump through. And now, for something completely insane, Rake decides the stairs are too mainstream and opts for a scenic tour via the elevator shaft. He's rappelling down, but it's not a peaceful descent. He's fighting off a literal swarm of Zurab's men who are also rappelling, or perhaps just falling with style. The creak of the rope, the gasp of effort as he dodges a knife, the thud of a body hitting the bottom of the shaft. It's all part of the vertical ballet of destruction. The whiz of bullets past his head, the scrape of his gear against the metal walls, and the sheer momentum of the fight make it a truly disorienting experience. It's a testament to his sheer audacity that he even attempts something like this, but then again, this is Tyler Rake. Impossible is just a suggestion. Having survived his descent into the abyss, Rake now has to contend with an entire office complex designed by a minimalist architect who clearly never envisioned a mercenary using it as a combat zone. The smash of glass partitions, the clang of office furniture being repurposed as weapons, and the desperate shouts of Zurab's men echo through the once pristine floors. Every movement, every strike, is punctuated by the shatter of another pane of glass, creating a chaotic soundscape of destruction. He's practically swimming through shrapnel and flying office supplies. The impact of punches, the grunt of exertion, and the quick snap of a broken limb make for truly visceral viewing. It's like a corporate team-building exercise gone spectacularly wrong. Just when Rake thought he'd seen every possible mode of attack, Zurab decides to bring in the big guns, literally. Multiple attack helicopters appear outside the skyscraper, turning the building into a giant target practice dummy. The deafening roar of the choppers, the staccato thud of their machine guns, and the explosive impact of rockets hitting the building create a truly terrifying assault. Glass panels shatter inwards with explosive force, raining down debris and creating new entry points for Zurab's men. Rake is now fighting a multi-directional battle, trying to stay alive while simultaneously navigating a building that's actively falling apart around him. It's less of a rescue mission and more of a how many things can kill me at once challenge. Amidst the collapsing infrastructure and the blare of alarms, Rake finally finds Nina, terrified but alive. He scoops her up, shielding her from the surrounding mayhem. But the relief is fleeting, as the memory of Yaz's sacrifice flashes vividly through his mind, the echo of Yaz's final gunshots still ringing in his ears. The weight of that loss, combined with the desperate need to protect Nina, fuels his every move. The clatter of falling debris and the groan of stressed metal girders are a constant reminder of the precariousness of their situation. He pushes forward, his steps heavy with exhaustion, but his resolve unyielding. He's not just saving a child. He's trying to honor the memory of a fallen friend, one brutal step at a time. Rake, with Nick now by his side, tracks Zurab to a desolate, desecrated church in Georgia. The silence within the crumbling stone walls, broken only by the creak of the wooden doors and the drip, drip, drip of water, is almost heavier than the loudest battle. It's a dramatic setting for a final showdown, the eerie quiet amplifying the tension. Zurab, surrounded by his remaining men, waits, a chillingly calm demeanor about him. The crunch of their boots on the broken floorboards is the only sound as they advance. This isn't just about the mission anymore. It's deeply personal, a clash of wills and a battle for vengeance that has taken a devastating toll on Rake. This is where all the pain, all the loss, comes to a head. Get ready for some serious fisticuffs. The dilapidated church erupts in a storm of violence. The thunderous cracks of gunfire, the sharp clang of metal on metal, and the shouts of men in battle echo through the hallowed, broken space. Rake and Nick fight as a perfectly synchronized unit, their movements fluid and deadly. They're outnumbered, but their experience and raw determination make them a formidable force. The smash of wooden pews, the shatter of stained glass windows, and the pained grunts of combatants create a visceral, almost sacred symphony of destruction. It's a desperate, no-holds-barred fight, each blow carrying the weight of past losses and the hope of future peace. Nick, always the pragmatist, ensures Rake stays focused, but Rake's eyes are fixed on Zurab, a man whose actions have cost him too much. Finally, Rake and Zurab come face to face, their battle a furious explosion of raw power and unbridled rage. The thud of Rake's fists connecting, The growl of Zurab as he retaliates and the strained gasps for breath are the only sounds that matter. This isn't a graceful fight. It's a primal, desperate struggle for dominance, each man pushing the other to their absolute breaking point. The crack of bone, the tear of flesh, and the splash of blood paint a gruesome picture. Rake, battered and bruised but fueled by the memory of Yaz, refuses to yield. He channels every ounce of his pain, every moment of his recovery into this final, defining confrontation. Zurab, for all his power, underestimated the sheer force of Rake's vengeance. It's a test of endurance, skill, and sheer force of will, and only one man can walk away. The fight ends with Zurab finally defeated, his reign of terror brought to a brutal halt. Rake stands over him, battered and bloodied, the heaving gasps of his breath echoing in the now quiet church. Nick, equally exhausted, joins him. The wail of distant sirens quickly grows louder, signaling the inevitable arrival of the local authorities. There's no escaping this one. They've effectively leveled a small country. The click of handcuffs, the shouts of the police, and the bright glare of flashing lights mark the end of their bloody crusade. They're taken into custody, silent and resigned, knowing that even heroes sometimes have to face the music. It's a moment of grim victory, but victory nonetheless, with the added bonus of a free stay at a local detention center. Days later, Rake and Nick find themselves in a prison cell, probably contemplating how many times a human body can be stabbed, shot, and thrown from a building before it just gives up. But their solitude is interrupted by the unwelcome yet familiar face of Alcott. He glides in, looking annoyingly pristine as usual, and offers them a classic get-out-of-jail-free card, with a catch, of course. He needs them for another mission, one that's apparently too sensitive, too dangerous, and too top secret for anyone else. The soft rustle of the file he places on the table, the low murmur of his voice, all suggest a new, even more intricate web of danger. Rake, after a beat of considering his options, gives that signature "fine, but I get to break more things" look. And we know, just like that, the cycle of extreme violence will continue. Because some people just can't sit still. So Rake is out, probably with a few more scars and even fewer FCKs to give. He takes a moment, perhaps looking at his reflection, a canvas of past battles and future unknowns. He's lived, he's lost, he's punched more people than a boxing machine at a fair. His journey is a powerful reminder that even after facing the abyss, there's always a reason to keep fighting, to keep moving forward. It's not about the glory, but the grind, the sheer will to protect those who can't protect themselves. This film, beyond the insane action, subtly weaves a narrative about resilience, sacrifice, and the enduring human spirit. It asks us to consider what we're willing to endure for those we love, and for the chance at redemption. It leaves us with a sense of hopeful anticipation, knowing that Rake, despite everything, is ready for the next challenge, ready to step back into the fray when duty calls.